Hello, my dear students of class 11 ISC. Today I'll be discussing this poem, Why I Like the Hospital, composed by Tony Hoagland, an American poet, with you all. Tony Hoagland was himself a patient of pancreatic cancer, and he has, in my opinion, penned his own emotions and experiences in this poem. This poem is filled with pathos and it has a lot of imagery in it. He has obviously he must have visited hospital for a number of times for his chemotherapy sessions and his regular checkups, or for his treatments. So he has given a vivid description of that place hospital, with its patients, with its ambience, and with the hospital staff, and etc etc. So let's go ahead and read this poem, Why I Like the Hospital. So you can see that this title itself is quite strange, because nobody likes hospital. Hospital itself, this place is not like associated with lot of happiness unless it is related to a childbirth. Otherwise, hospital is a place where people go to find cure to their disease. They go and like they get the treatment of their ailment, disease, or accident. Patients also go there. So people who generally go there are not happy, and they do not, obviously you don't have that great memories with that place, because I told you it is associated with disease and suffering moreover. So let's go ahead and just do this poem in detail. Okay, because it is all right to be in a bad mood there. This poem itself begins with the conjunction. It is in the continuation with this title, Why I Like the Hospital. Because it is all right to be in a bad mood there. Slouching along through the underground garage, riding wordlessly on the elevator with the other customers, sharing at the closed beige doors like a prison wall. So this first paragraph itself is telling that why does this poet, he likes this place hospital, which is otherwise associated with sufferings, ailments, although the people go there to find relief. So he says, the poet is saying that, I like hospital because it is all right to be in a bad mood there. Because generally people know, they agree that why the people in the hospital, they are there because of the suffering, or they have gone as relatives or friends to or as visitors, to meet their friends and close one who are already there, admitted there for treatment. So this place is actually, it is like everyone there is in a bad mood. They're not in a very cherish in a in a cherished mood, or they are not, they don't seem happy at all, because they all are in a hope that the person who's admitted there or is being treated there, he himself also, plus, or even if he's a visitor, then also he has a hope that the ailment of the deceased be cured soon. So, because it is all right to be in a bad mood, they're slouching along through the underground garage. Now, why this slouching word is there? Slouching word is there to show that, this play, it shows that bent back thing. Bent. When you have that bent back and you are moving with a bent back, this shows that the person is tired, is weary, and is stressed. He is not very in a happy and confident move, and walking heartily, enjoying life. The person is having that slouching posture, to show that he is not in a very happy mood. His spirits are low, so he is wearied, he's tired, he is suffering, either physical or mental. Physical if he's himself the patient, and mental if his friend or relative is the patient. Even if he's a visitor, he's suffering because of that mental strain, whether his friend or relative will get well soon or not. Along through the underground garage, he's saying, because it is all right to be in a bad mood there, slouching along through the underground garage. So this is, he's talking that when he's parking, he might be parking his car in that underground area, which is supposed to be the garage of the hospital, right? So the below the ground level. So he, when he's like, he's there, he's talking about himself that he's not very uh, pepped up in spirit. He's having that slouching posture to show that he's wearied, he's tired, he's stressed. Riding wordlessly on the elevator with other customers. Now when he moves into that garage area, and there he parks his car and takes the lift, which takes him to the main hospital area. So riding wordlessly means he has entered the elevator, but the people who are in the elevator, they're not talking to each other, because see, people generally, they refrain from speaking anything when the mood is not good, or when they are extremely sad. So we need our moment to, have that energy to ourselves, and we want to keep up to ourselves our emotions, like bottled up all, because we don't want to express anything, we are not in a very good mood to express. So that is why riding wordlessly means nobody wants to talk in that space, that elevator, because everyone, even whether it's a visitor or the patient, they are all suffering with the other customers. Now this is a satire which he has used. Customers, the patients are customers. Then he's not used the word patients or the visitors, he's saying they are the customers, because the current scenario of the medical department, it has turned into a moreover of a business than of hospitality, or of giving of a service. It has become moreover of a business, like they have become the market hubs for catching uh, or charging high fee. They'll make you do several tests without any use, they'll keep you for more days on in the ICU, or they'll give you special facilities to just raise that bill, so that they can charge whooping amount from the patients. So that is why he has used this. It's a satire for the current medical situation, that people are charged heavily. The patients are not considered as, the people who are suffering and have come there to in their hour of need, or they have come to get relief from the suffering, but they are taken as patients from whom they can fetch huge amount of money. All right. Staring at the closed beige doors like a prison wall. Now the that entire surrounding of the hospital is quite a depressed one. So that is why beige color, it's like a dull color, so it's giving a sense of dullness. And the entire hospital is just, it's not in a very high spirit kind of feeling, because he himself is suffering, or he might be a visitor also. So he's saying that the beige doors, they are closed, and it appears to be like a prison wall, that he's trapped there. It appears to be that this hospital has become a prison for him. So all right, I like the hospitals for the way it grants permission for pathos. The mother with cancer deciding how to tell her kids, the girl gazing downwards at the shunt installed above a missing breast. So now he's talking about that this place is it grants permission for the pathos. Pathos is a feeling which arouses pity in you. You kind of feel pity or feel bad about that thing. So I like the hospital for the way it grants permission for pathos. It gives space so that people can feel bad about other people or themselves. The mother with cancer deciding to tell her kids, even now he's saying that even if this place, this hospital it it arouses pity even in the hardest of the heart. If suppose a very hard hearted person, he happens to see a mother who's suffering with cancer, and she's just she's just figuring it out that how is she's going to tell her little children who will be left behind, because her illness, maybe she must be having that those questions also. Will she survive or not, or for how many days she's going to be uh, alive, so that she can take care of her children, and she's just figuring it out, all these things in her mind. So it can arouse pity even in the hardest of the mind. So it makes you little empathetic towards other. So okay, now the bald girl gazing downward at the shunt installed above a missing breast. Now this girl, the girl, she must be suffering from breast cancer, and there has to be removal of a breast. She must be as have undergone mastectomy. So that is why that is a removal of breast. So she is also just staring at uh, that missing breast. She's looking down at the missing breast, that what's happened to her. She, this is all, the sufferings of the cancer patients. The crone in her pajamas walking with an ivy pole. Now, crone here means an old woman who must be walking in her in her pajamas with an ivy pole. Now, if this woman is walking with an ivy pole, it shows that she must be going uh, to some other department for some test. That is why she has to move with that ivy pole, and it cannot be uh, removed from her, because some medicine must be uh, being administered to her body through this IV. Understood. I don't like the smell of antiseptic or the air conditioning set on high all night. Now this poet is saying that he doesn't, he has talked that what he liked about this place. Now what the things are that he doesn't like is that the smell of antiseptic, because a lot of antiseptic is used, it's used profusely. Why? Because to avoid the germs. So if you enter that hospital, you must all have once in a lifetime must have entered that place. If not, it's very good. So that place has some different aroma because of that antiseptic septic of that medicines and all. So this antiseptic is used in large quantity so that germs may not breed. So he doesn't like that smell. Or the air conditioning set on high all night. Now this is telling that the air conditioning also is set on extreme high, that is the temperatures are made to be made too low, and for the patients it becomes difficult to bear that temperature. So he doesn't like that strong cooling of the air condition, which shows that the hospital staff probably they must be looking after their own comfort. So they keep the temperature too low, and they set the air conditioning too high. So this is it. This it shows the apathetic attitude of the hospital staff. Or the fresh flowers tossed into the waste basket. Now he doesn't like that he can see the fresh flowers some visitors must have got for the patients. So they are tossed or they are thrown carelessly in the waste basket, and that too it must have been done by the hospital staff only. So this also counts for the apathetic attitude of the hospital staff. So he doesn't like that. All right. But I like the way some people on their plastic chairs break out a notebook and invent a complex scoring system to tally up their days on earth. The column on the left that says times I acted like a fool, facing the column on the right that says times I acted like a saint. Now what he like is he started again telling that what he likes. He's saying that I like the way some people on their plastic chair. Now what does this plastic chair tells you? Plastic chair, again it refers which is not sturdy, something which is not sturdy, which is you can say it's weak, and it it is it can be metaphor for life also, that life is also not very thing which will last forever and ever. So it is like, he's saying that, but I like the way some people on their plastic chairs break out a notebook and invent a complex scoring system to tally up their days on earth. Now when they are in the waiting area, they must have, some people must have taken out a notebook, and they must have drawn the column, one on left, one on right. In one column they are filling that, that they are counting their days on earth. They are just making an account of the days they have spent on earth. And what are they writing? That how they have acted. At times they have acted right, and sometimes they have acted like a fool. Like they have sometimes, I acted like a fool. Fool means I've made a wrong choice. I made a mistake. And on facing the column on the right says times I acted like a saint. It means that the times when I chose something which was right, which was righteous. So it is, that is why he calls, like, I sometime acted like a saint. I like the long prairie of the waiting, the forced intimacy of the self with the self. Now when there are the long corridors and waiting areas, he also likes that place. Why? Because you that is the me time of the patient with himself. He is talking to himself about his illness, maybe consoling himself for his disease. Each sick person standing in the middle of a field. So what do you do when you are alone, you are waiting for something? So it is that you talk about various things which you've suffered or which you are suffering from, whether you will be fine or not, what have you done, how your family will be left without you if you die. So all these things are coming to a patient's mind. So that is his me time kind of thing, which when he's doing this quiet talking to himself in the waiting area. I like the long prairie of the waiting, the forced intimacy of the self with the self. Forced because it is not on your own. You're forced to wait there because other patients are there with the doctors, and you're waiting for your time. So at that time, it's a forced intimacy because you are left with yourself, and that gives you time to spend with yourself, thinking about various things. Each sick person standing in the middle of a field like a tree, wondering what happened to the forest. So each, now he's comparing the patient, each sick person, with the tree, like who is standing in the middle of a field, and he is thinking that what has happened to the other patient. Okay, each sick person standing in the middle of a field like a tree, wondering what happened to the forest. So he's saying that each sick person is comparing it, a sick person, to a tree. He's just wondering what has happened to the other trees, what has happened to the other patient. They are also suffering, I am also suffering. So like they think, he thinks that they are all sailing in the same boat. All right. And once I saw a man in a lime green dressing gown, hunched over in a chair, a man who was not yelling at the doctors or pretending to be strong or making a murmured phone call to his wife. So he says that, he has once seen a man who's dressed in a lime green dressing gown, must have come out from the operation theater, or must be going inside the operation theater. So this is it. Hunched over in a chair. Hunched means, again, with a bent back. Again, this shows weariness, tiredness. He's fatigued because of his disease. Okay. A man who was not yelling at the doctors. Now, he is not showing any that crazy crazy, that crazy mind that he is okay, he's quite disturbed from his illness, and people start shouting on the doctors, they start misbehaving with others. So he's not doing anything like that, or pretending to be strong. He is like, okay, I have got the disease, I'm not well. He's not saying, okay, nothing will happen, I am the strongest and I live and this. No, he's just normal. or making a murmured phone call to his wife. He's doing nothing. He's just sitting with a hunched back on the chair. He has accepted that he is not well. But one sobbing without shame, pumping it all out from the bottom of the self, the overflowing bilge of helplessness and rage. All right. So he's saying that one is of this kind, that he's okay enough to accept his disease, but not showing too much of strength and not showing too much of helplessness also. And the other one is there who's sobbing without shame. Sobbing means who's crying helplessly without shame, pumping it all out from the bottom of the self without of bottom of the self, the overflowing bilge of helplessness and rage. So that overflowing emotions of helplessness, overflowing bilge means it is a waste water, but here it means emotions. It is emotions or helplessness. Emotions of helplessness, you can say. Okay. Why he's helpless? Because he's diseased and he knows that he cannot do anything about it. And he wants, might be, or everyone wants to live little longer. Maybe even if you reach 95, then also you'll say, okay, let me live for one more day or one more month or something. So nobody wants to die. So he is also feeling that he's suffering from that disease and he's feeling helpless. And rage means he's that when you are angry, a man no longer expecting to be saved, he is on his deathbed. So he obviously he must have, every one of us have plans, no? So when you come to know that, okay, after a month or so you'll not live, then it's very scary, because you know that you've planned your life in a way like, after 6 months I'm going to do this, after 2 months this project will be over, after 3 months I'll I have my first child to be admitted to certain such and such college. And if you know your dead date, then obviously all that helplessness, it envelops you. But if you looked, you could see that he was holding his own hand in sympathy. Now this here what is he showing? He's showing that there is lot of helplessness and there is nobody who will help you. There's nobody who's going to help you. You are alone. You're alone and you have to take it alone, all that pain, and there's nobody around you. But if you looked, you could see that he was holding his own hand in sympathy. So he had no one and he was holding his own hand in sympathy. See, it's a very miserable situation that you have nobody at the time of your need, when especially when you are about to die or you have immense pain, you've lost something very precious, or you are, what could be more precious than life? This fellow is losing life and he has nobody around it. So you can well imagine the emotional trauma also which he's going through, listening to every single word. He is the speaker and he is the listener also. So he's just consoling himself and he was telling himself everything. So the listener and the speaker, they are same. So this particular paragraph, it arouses a lot of pity in you. Again, it is filled with pathos, and this particular poem, it is filled with imagery. Because as you keep reading, no, you must have also realized all the image of that hospital area, of the elevator, of that garage section, the staff, and the corridor and the waiting area, it must be coming to your mind automatically. And these people with the patients who are described there, so it creates a very clear image. So this poem is having a lot of imagery in it. I hope it's quite clear to you. And if you, in case you have any problem, I'm there to help you. You can just put your questions in the comment box. I'll be happy to help you. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'll be happy. Thank you so much.